I do still remember the sunshine when we first met. Then came rain.
Okay. So this old guy in this pub, which went, his pin drop silence the second he started to played this song. I thought, I've never seen anyone say something so raw. And then you realise it's folk song, and he didn't write it. Like, he was nothing to do with it, right? But that's part of folk singing.
Yeah.
It's part of interpreting songs, and it can be that you try and take on the voice of the writer and try and let it speak through you, or try and take on the voice of the time or the place or whatever and embody a thing. So, I mean, it's kind of acting in a way,
Yeah.
which is also a really interesting creative process. It's very different to writing songs in some way, but it's also super interesting.
Exactly, taking somebody else's words, so maybe an established song or an established piece of music, and reinterpreting that, making it your own, but still having it faithful to the original.
Yeah,
Or maybe having your message to it.
and it's also I'm a big Bob Dylan fan, and I've seen him play 4 times, and each time he's played his own songs and reinterpreted them in such a way that the meaning changes, and they become very powerful statements of something completely different. So like I sort of did The Times They Are A-Changing probably about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, which, the song, like, when he's singing it in the 60s, I was thinking of come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters beyond your command. You're always rapidly aging. Please get out of the new way if you can't lend a hand. For the times, they are changing. The meaning, as he sang it as a man in his, when would that have been? When he was in his 60s or his 70s. He sang it completely differently, and he sang it with a different intent. So it becomes mothers and fathers throughout the land. He's not singing to an older generation, he's singing to his generation, or to himself. It's super interesting. But yeah, I mean, I became very interested in. Sorry,
I don't know.
that's all right. It's safe then.
It's safe.
I became very interested in folk music and interpretation of lyrics.
But that was in your time when you were in Suffolk, there in Brighton University. Or was it when you were leaving that kind of environment? Or
I don't know.
was it a thing that people like in their early 20s kind of go through? Like different musical genres come into like the forefront of the mind more.
I don't know. I get to folk music. Yeah, it probably would have been around that time when I was in uni, and I was always quite into folk-ish music because you just mentioned Nick Drake. I got really into Nick Drake when I was a teenager, and his take on things, it seemed to express something that was at once kind of comforting, because it's this like familiar acoustic-y thing.
He has a very unique sound, though, Nick Drake, and obviously he was not famous himself under his lifetime. It was like post-mortem he had more fame, but then again it wasn't. I think more in later years now it's become more of a thing people listen to and associate with that kind of era of music. But I think himself at that time, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if he was that big when he was.
He wasn't big, but like a friend of mine saw him play. Gareth. His parents took him to see him because they were like, "We've got to see this guy," you know, because they were into the folk music scene of Fairport. I think he was playing with Fairport Convention that night, but that Fairport Pentangle thing from the late '60s, and his name was known. You know, he's never been like obscure because the quality is such that even though he didn't promote it well, you can't.
Yeah, maybe more that. Maybe he wasn't like on the front cover of magazines and whichever or things, but more in later years, maybe in movie and TV soundtracks and things.
I suppose
his music is like more. People associate it maybe with more things which are a wider scope than he promoted himself under his time.
Yeah.
That's what I feel about him anyway.
Yeah, maybe. But from there, I got into that folky thing. But again, it can be that you're then kind of trying to force yourself into a corner. And it could be quite difficult to write around it. I never really felt like I could write it very well. Because I felt like I was trying to fit a formula, I suppose.
Not writing from the heart, rather from an idea of how it should sound or what it should say.
Yeah, I suppose so. But then, there are no rules. I remember around that time, I had a period of about a week where I became towards when I was in university, when I booked a gig in London. A friend of mine booked it, a Swedish guy actually, and I decided that I had to play the guitar really well. So I spent like a week, as I remember it, just playing the guitar, as in not eating or sleeping or doing anything, like nothing else, just playing the guitar obsessively. And by the end of the week, I was really good. I was really like, I've never really been that good again, I don't think. But I then wrote a song at the end of the week, which did seem to come from a very strange place. Like,
but it wasn't your natural aura, like what you've been producing and doing up to that point. So this was somewhere different.
Yeah, it was really interesting for me. It just flowed out. Oh yeah, I had another band around that time, which when I'd been back in Lincoln, I'd started this band. We'd called ourselves The Regiment.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I like that one.
And the idea was, I'm always quite into deep creativity and really cheap gimmicks. I think that those two things go really well together. Marcus won't, of course, understand what I'm talking
cheap
about.
Gimmicks? I'm not sure. What do you mean, like going to a second-hand shop and picking up all the clothes that you're going to wear later on in the evening? Those kind of cheap gimmicks.
You know, that kind of a thing.
Not that I've done that yet.
I don't know, pretending to be the Lord of the Isle of Man, or I don't know.
Pretending? What do you mean pretending? Listen here, Sonny Jim. If you came back with me to the Isle of Man, they would be bowing like at my feet.
Yeah,
I'm a real lord.
I know. But like, there is something really fascinating to me about where high art and like low, like where cheap tawdriness meets like the high aims and creativity. Sorry.
Have you ever seen The King and I, the original one? The film?
No.
So there's a scene in it where like the king, no one can be higher than the king. So you have to go down like that. It's kind of like you with this video thing. I'm trying to match you all the time, but I can't go lower than you on this one to get in the frame.
Somebody told me that Stalin made everyone in his surroundings stand lower than him.
Exactly.
And he was actually only 4'6". It's terrible.
Everyone on their knees now.
Exactly. He likes editing a good picture. There we go.
I can't do it.
No,
it's not in me.
Well, I like the idea though. Cheap. Well, you said cheap gimmicks, but I think there's an art to that as well. It's kind of like appealing to the lowest common denominator in a way, appealing to something which is maybe a bit garish or something that's everyone's collective mindset, but they weren't like, oh, we'll admit that we like that, but also trying to be highbrow at the same time.
I mean, like David Bowie with Ziggy Stardust, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like something kind of tacky and incredibly profound as well.
Exactly, because the level of tackiness was just so to an extreme that this avant-garde and not tacky.
So we had a band called The Regiment, and we were tacky. And the idea was every song would just have a marching drum beat, and we would play guitars like machine guns or something. And we kind of half wrote one song. And then I finished that song after my week of not eating and sleeping and just playing the guitar. And it's very, very basic riffs, just like this. So it was like that thing crystallized in my head. And I got a really nice song based on that. I was very happy with. And I quite like the idea of tacky gimmicks.
So what does it look like for you when you create songs? Usually.
Different, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never found a formula.
No.
It will be stuff like that. I find that being extremely tired can be quite helpful.
Yeah.
Because it's like
you have no barriers then.
Yeah.
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 Also, aren't you more in touch with your inner self when you're tired and don't have...
I hope not, because my inner self then is a total bastard who's in a really bad mood all the time.
Maybe it's a toddler, or maybe it's an 8-year-old just wanting to claim you.
Let me just go to sleep. Yeah, could be.
But I think it's easier to listen inwards when you're tired. And
yeah, it can be.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a process. So there was the one that you liked at Larry's.
Vanny.
I
love the song Vanny.
So all that happens there is, and that's actually I realised fairly typical for me. So we were at Larry's Corner. I was supposed to be playing a show, and I try to organise it. I try my best, but I just never get round to it. And I'm writing down my set list. I'm like, I should finish this song. I should finish this song. I should finish this song. So in the end, my set list is mainly just the names of songs
which
I haven't written. Yeah. So I had this idea. I have my little Vanny.
Vanny is a real thing. Many people write songs about fictional things. Vanny is a story about an actual van and a lot of things that have happened in Sam's actual life around with different creatures and such around Vanny as a concept.
Vanny
is how many meters away is Vanny from us right now?
Good question. I can't remember where Vanny is parked. I think I'd be moved tomorrow. Probably about 400 meters, I hope.
We could record part 2 inside at Vanny.
Could do.
That could be too epic.
It'll smell a bit funny.
I mean, that could just add to the atmosphere. But I absolutely loved the song Vanny, and you unleashed it on the world.
And on myself.
On that night. And I was in the audience, and I recorded an ad hoc version there, which I put up on YouTube. And everybody loved it in the crowd. And
it was good.
They were singing along to the chorus, so it was the first time I'd ever heard the song.
It was the first time I'd ever heard the song, crucially.
Did you want to play a version of Vanny now? A little bit of it?
Oh, we could try.
I mean, it could be anything.
Basically, here's the story of the song. I can't remember when, but I was in Vanny and I was very, very happy to be driving Vanny. So I went to university, moved on a few other places, lived in London for a couple of years in a warehouse that belonged to an uncle through marriage. And it was really mad. I had a job with him. I introduced him to my wife not long ago, and I said, this is my uncle who I used to work for. And he said, no, Sam, I'm your uncle who used to employ you. So I never did a bollock of work. But when he finally sacked me, which is easier just the question is, why did he employ me rather than why did he sack me?
Why did it take this long?
Yeah. But when he finally sacked me, as a final payoff, he gave me Vanny. So I packed all my shit from the warehouse into Vanny and I drove to Berlin. And for the next 10 years, my life was bound up with Vanny. It was like, well, I had gigs, so I would drive to the gigs, and then I'd meet other musicians and they needed transport for their drums. No one had cars in Berlin. And then I ended up moving to Spain, and I lived in a van. Then I drove back to Berlin, and like my income was, and I do like odd jobs, moving house for people and stuff in this tiny van. And then finally left. And yeah, so I must have been in Sweden. And I just got into Vanny, and it's just that feeling of fucking yeah.
Wasn't that a thing that Vanny was like near enough on his last legs, and he was repairing and fixing things you didn't know if he was gonna pass its MOT?
Yeah.
And then I think, weren't you really overjoyed that it actually started and you could drive it, and like Vanny might go for another 10, 15, 20 years, what do we know?
That must have been when I played the song, or why I had the idea to sing it. But I'd had the idea before of I'd just been driving, and started going, Vanny! Vanny! And that was it. So I knew that would be the song.
You Men with Ven.
Yeah, Men with Ven. And I had this thing of like, I don't know, whether Vikings had their ships, knights had their horses, like someone had what they travelled however they can. I've got a tiny fucking van. Fanny! And then it's just obvious, isn't it? It just writes itself. Now, this was really interesting though, because it's like, I find it very, very difficult to decide what to write down if I'm writing something. I have a huge problem with quality control and like, oh, that's good, that isn't. And it starts to turn into like a mental game, and I'll pick out more and more complicated things that end up not making any sense. And you find you have just a shit song when you play it. Whereas if I just make things up on the spot, they're usually fine.
Yeah.
And it's usually very entertaining.
Yeah.
Me being in the audience, I loved it.
I find making stuff up on the spot actually works pretty well, because my brain just seems to work like that. It enjoys, or it requires boundaries and pressure. So it needs to be able to pass or fail now. And then it comes out. Then I can come out with stuff that works. I'm just not very good at sitting down and then editing it, which is, of course, what makes stuff really good.
Yeah, because you told us that your last gig, you also wrote 2 songs in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote them back at Larry's.
Yeah.
I wrote them there because, well, if I've got to finish them, they'll be all right. Yeah. They'll be fine. Yeah. Whereas if I've got fucking weeks to think about it, then I'll eat loads of crisps and watch loads of TV and do other stuff. But this process, like I got very into quite spontaneous performers, jazzy people. Tim Buckley was a huge. Is my phone going?
Yeah, someone's sending you clips of Vanny.
Oh,
don't know who that could be.
Was that you?
Just so you've got it written down. But then
we both disappeared.
I know.
So yeah, and I quite got into the idea of the spontaneity. And as you said, I moved to Berlin, and one night I met these guys in a bar.
So why did you decide to move to Berlin? So you'd ascertained you got Vanny. You two are now one in the same.
One in the same.
And then what made you decide Berlin as a place?
All right, so I got Vanny, and I went, right, I'm gonna go off. And I've got partly I got sacked because I've gone to Portugal in the summer and left all the stuff that I should have been doing.
The work to be done was still there.
And then there was shit all over the place. There was a drum kit set up in the basement, and
when are you going to be an extra on the Mighty Boosh?
Oh, fucking missed that. We should have been extras on the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
That was Tom G again.
Was it?
What's my life without Tom? What's my life with Tom G?
Meet this Tom G at some point.
Yeah, we should get him over. We should. Well, we'd go over and play a board game with him.
Could do, yeah. We might never come back.
Be worth it though for the crystal secrets of I'm glad I'm here. So where was it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I got this van. I was like, I'm going to explore. I'm going to go off and do some stuff. And I got chatting with this guy who used to live with some friends of mine from uni, and I was friends with a friend of his where I went to uni. So it's like we kind of know each other at 2 levels. And he'd also got the sack, so he was up for doing something. But we're quite different. So whereas I was like, I'll drive around in a van and probably busk and probably, I don't know, marry an heiress or live in a cave or fucking whatever. He was like, we should go on holiday to Greece. Like, that's definitely not what I was thinking of. You know, like a resort. Bear in mind it's October and there's fucking no one there. So we go to Greece and yeah, it's crap. And then he's like, yeah, we should go to Berlin. I've heard it's banging. I can't imagine anything that I want to do less, but somehow a week later I found myself in Berlin. And we ended up staying on this hostel in Kleidsberg. I have to say it in a German accent. And it's pretty good. And I remember I went to one of the cafes and I said to the manager, hey, how do you play music here? Do you have concerts? Yeah, sure. Like, well, how do you get a booking? Well, you just come and you play music, man. And how do I get paid? You ask the people for the money. Like, yeah, all right. That sounds pretty good. It's like I could never understand the scene in London or even in Lincoln, where it's like to do these bookings, you have to know these people. And it's like I can't know people. This was just you just fucking turn up and play. Just get a guitar from somewhere. And I thought that sounds appealing. So I decided to stay, and Mike went home. And I stayed in Berlin.
Okay. Did you have like a regular string of gigs that you could do, or different venues that you could turn up at and start to make some money?
The first 6 weeks I was living in this hostel, and it was like, you know, I was chatting to people about playing and organising some things. And finally I found this flat, a room in a flat around the corner for about 100 quid a week, 100 quid a month, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the guys there were all musicians. And one of them was a Scottish guy called Joe. And I was like, how do you make money here? He's like, I just go into a bar and ask if I can play 2 or 3 songs and take a hat round. It's like, all right, that sounds logic.
It's a level or 2 above begging, but it's possible.
I'm happy with begging, to be honest, but if this is how it's done here. So I tried that, and it's fucking nerve-wracking the first time you do it. Like going in a place you don't know anyone, Friday night in a bar. Excuse me, I can't speak German, but can you turn the music off so I can sing some songs? Yeah, of course. Like, all right. And then you're like, I don't know any fucking songs. So you just have to remember some that you were playing when you were 12 in your band.
That's then that the Fisher Price recorder comes out.
Yeah.
Like, don't know any songs, but I can dance.
Yeah. So I ended up sort of doing that. I did that for money when I needed to, and then more, like you get more used to it, and you know 5, 10, 15, 20 places where you know they're always happy to see you. And doing gigs as well. Yeah. Like bits and bobs, like 2 gigs a month probably. And then one day I'm in a bar, and these guys are singing late, like maybe 2 a.m. singing some Doors songs. And these guys came up to me and like, hey, do you want to be in our band? I'm like, I don't know, but if we buy you a beer, yeah, all right. And so I joined these guys' band. They're called the Sticks in the Casino.
Sticks in the Casino.
Okay. And they're like German prog, basically, like interesting. And they wanted me to sing. Like, yeah, I just do whatever. not really that much space for singing
No.
because it's sort of solos all the way through. And then, okay. But it was like a Dawsy kind of Jim Morrison-y thing that I was trying to do.
Well, yeah, what kind of instruments do they have? Obviously, the Doors is very much with the
Organ,
keyboard
yeah.
and the organ, and
Yeah, so you've got David on the orgel and the guitar, Kevin on the guitar, Holger on the drums, and at the time it was Bestie on the bass. So yeah, this is all right. We did our first gig. Cool. It's all right. It's not, it wasn't like that the place is going crazy, but it was good. We're getting there. And then one day they're like, yeah, do you also play with the other band? And like, what's the other band? Like, yeah, you're called the Feminists and we dress like ladies. Fuck you.
the
Like,
Feminists. I think that needs a chapter all on its own. So,
I mean, but the creative side of it is very, very simple. So that they're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, they just go crazy. So basically, I heard the songs, I think, once. We did a run through. And I made noises at what I thought were the appropriate times. So the songs would be like going like, and I would go, woo! Oh. All right! That would be the song.
and they were like, we love it, yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay.
We love it. No one in Germany has ever said, well, the last time anyone in Germany said we love it, bad result. don't get them enthusiastic. So we yeah, we are different to it, but it's okay, actually. So we turned up for the first show in Comma F, which is a squat in a basement. It's been raining, pissing with rain, and the floor was like ankle deep with water. The stage is deep with water, and that's
What?
So
some
like,
people frown upon that.
if you're going to plug an electric guitar and you're taking a life in your hands, so this could go very badly, very quickly.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
really dangerous. But if you drink enough beer, then you don't conduct electricity anymore or something.
Apparently not in Germany, at least. They have different electricity there.
Yeah, and different alcohol.
True, yeah.
So we like another band played, a hardcore band, and I'm watching them all the time. Like, what are they not doing? Which spaces are they not filling that I can fill? Do you know what I mean? Like, which bits of
what's lacking for this stage? What's lacking what they're doing?
Because they were good.
Yeah. Why is the crowd not reacting maybe to what they're doing?
Even if the crowd were reacting,
but where can you find a connection?
Yeah, where's the thing? And we plugged in, we got dressed as ladies, the band started, and I just went insane and just screamed and whooped and climbed on people.
That's what I was going to say as well. My next, because I've seen some videos and footage from it, and you go off climbing up and things, not just climbing. People up on equipment
on whatever,
stuff, on
whatever there.
Were you trying to get out of the water, or what was it?
There was no point trying to get out of the water.
No.
Everything.
You find that as part of your creative process, that when you're on the stage there, you're like, I just need to get up and go out and climb on things, and it'd be kind of part of the music, but in a different physical way.
Yeah, what is it? I don't really know, man. It's just, you're just looking for the thing that is authentic at the time. And it's like after that, we did a show a few weeks ago, and it was really good fun. It was one of the best ones we've done, along with that first one. And afterwards, it was 6 a.m. in Paul's Medelik in Friedrichshain. The drummer Holger was going to me, you know what it is? When people see the Feminists, they see that it is real, even though we are dressed like fucking idiots. There's costumes, but that's the only thing that is fake. And it's like, you're just looking for the thing that is real at the moment. And I've never written lyrics for any of the songs, really. I've recorded lyrics, but every time we do them, I just look for what it is that I want to communicate to the people or a person, to the rest of the band, to myself, and to whatever else I feel I'm able to communicate with at that moment in time.
Yeah, so it's very like experimental music in that way, and you're feeding off like live off that audience at that time. So it would be hard possibly like to record this in a studio that you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean you
capture
can,
the same
but to try and get that atmosphere is, I don't know. I mean, you'd probably have to write something down for this, which I find very, if I'm writing down is a different process in some ways.
Yeah.
But the spontaneity of trying to, what is it, man?
Would you say that you are more present in that space? Like, are you really there and
I try to
listening?
be.
And then,
Yeah, and you're driven also by this. You couldn't just do it.
Yeah.
Really, I feel like I'm being supercharged by this complete madness going on with the sound that they make.
Yeah.
It's so nuts. And really, what is that? That's the communication between these 5 lunatics. That's how they're talking to each other and having a really good time.
Yeah.
And having fun together. And that's it's quite fun trying to express that as a thing. So that's what I got into there. And also writing folk songs.
So you're like doing both like at the same time, like having parallel but very different lives.
Yeah.
Maybe being like in the Feminists lead and then having a good rapport with the different bar owners and club owners of the place. So you'd go and you'd play maybe more acoustic things.
Yeah, totally different, because if you're doing these basically busking, you're trying, in some ways you're trying to blend into the ambience and
trying to appeal to the mass there.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really trying to appeal to anybody. I was more trying to find something in the room that I could interact with or engage with in some way.
Okay, well, in a sense, though, it's the same thing then with the Feminists and with you, the busking, because you're trying to read and feel the energy in the room.
I suppose so, yeah.
What you want to do, and that's how you're expressing your creativity then.
It's not necessarily what they want. That's the tension of it. It is you're trying to say something to people, and it's often what they don't want to hear. That's a strange thing. But like, you try and say the thing that's true, which is rarely what people want to hear. Actually,
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Actually.
People quite often, like when I play in an Irish bar, people want to hear Country Roads or whatever.
Yeah.
You find that actually, if you play the song that you feel really applies at this moment, it can hit much harder, or it can be a bigger success.
It's true, actually. I've been at gigs or gone to friends who've been playing gigs, and they're like, if anybody says to me, "Can you play Wonderwall?" they're like, "I'm going to belt them." Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's like, and especially when people say that, they're not asking you to say something that's true. They're asking you to repeat something so that they can repeat along, which is also really good fun. But yeah, I think a lot of creativity is trying to tell the truth, and often the truth through something that's not true.
I like that. No, but not that it's not true, but it's very profound that creativity is trying to tell the truth, and maybe trying to find the root to the truth.
Yeah, or to some sort of truth. And it's like that rambling Jack Elliott song that I talked about earlier. What I played, it seemed so true when he sang it, but in actual fact,
it wasn't. But for you in that moment, though, it was true.
Yeah, which is an interesting distinction to make, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's an interesting distinction to make, and that strength of feeling, it can be very confusing. And the Feminists evolved into this. In fact, it didn't evolve from the moment that I joined the band. It was, I was into a lot of these ideas of like female empowerment and somehow being connected with ecology and nature worship or something, which I've never quite been able to express except for by going woo every fourth bar.
Yeah. I think like Feminist is still an ongoing band and project, but as we know now, since you're here with us in the studio, a few years back you moved to Stockholm in Sweden, or you were in Norrköping first.
Yeah.
Right. But now you're living in Stockholm. How did all that come about?
Swedish wife.
Swedish wife. God, yeah. There's a lot of British people get caught in that one.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
It's something to do.
But you're still able to go over and play like with the Feminists when they have gigs there.
Yeah.
In places. That's good.
Yeah, we still do gigs, and actually it's been a bit more fun now that the pressure's off. You know, I was always very insistent on things should be done this way. We should be writing songs, we should be trying to make this into a thing, and it never fucking worked. It was always
that's the
like,
thing, isn't it? Like just trying to have to like force it to try and go with a vision
Yeah.
you've got, instead of just like, okay, what are we feeling? What are we
Again,
just
listening
remembering?
to
and the interesting thing about the Feminists to me is it was their joke band, it was their side project,
right.
where they just let out
A
the
lot of
stuff,
steam.
just the fun stuff.
Yeah.
When you're not doing quality control and like, this has to be like this, and that's why it works and why it's so much fun. And when I started trying to force it into one thing or another, it didn't work, and I have to trust the rest of the guys that like they know what's fun, and I know how to have fun with what's fun.
Yeah.
And that's when that process works really well. It's like you often feel like, if I just move this tiny thing, then everything will. And it's like, no, you just have to trust the process.
Yeah.
And creativity is a weird thing where it can be so surprising, right?
Yeah.
I wrote a song last time I was at Larry's. Shall I play it?
Yeah, please.
I had to write the lyrics down, so I've got them in here.
You actually did write it down.
So this is, I wrote this one down just before I got to, in the shop. Oh no, not that one.
No, another one.
So,
not that one. It's too
no, not that. Don't look at that one. So I had this idea for a song. I've got it now.
Love your papers though.
Thanks. I had this idea for a song, right? I won't take up any more of your time, but I will say this. So I'm from Lincoln, established. And you know how it is in a small town, especially in the UK, like lots of people slip through the cracks. And when I was in school, towards the end of school, people start taking more drugs.
So the crack stop.
Yeah. People start slipping through the crack. And some people get out of it, and some people are fine, and it's part of the growing process. And some people just don't, and it could be really sad.
Yeah.
3 guys from a group of friends that I was friendly with, they all kind of fell by the wayside, and it was sad to see. And one day a friend was saying he was walking downtown and he walked past this pub and a beer garden, and he saw the 3 of them out there. He said, "Oh, what are you up to, lads?" They said, we're going to walk to Washington, which is a suburb of Lincoln, about 3 miles away. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, that sounds like like a parable.
Yeah.
Like one of those stories. Oh, sorry.
That's
I was like, that needs to be a song or a story or something.
yeah.
And I could never think how it should be. And before this Larry's show, I was like, I have to write it. I went back to Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the tales is about 3 guys who go out and try and do this, and I was like,
that's it.
I need to nick that, because I need to finish this song or it's going to piss me off forever. So I finished it, and it surprised me where it went, because I wasn't expecting the end. Right, here we go.
Looking for an answer. Guru, a poet, and a chancer. Three fools searching for a way to waste another day. Now as they
Wow.
Yeah. I was genuinely surprised when I got to the end. I was like, oh, of course, you twat. Because I was also thinking when I was writing it, I was like, I don't want to be cruel again about these guys because I know them and they're still friends. And then you're like, wait, who am I to be cruel? I'm a fucking idiot. But there you go. It's a really interesting process, and that's, to me, is the crucial thing that I've learned is that when you engage in a creative process, you're not trying to trick yourself, and you're not trying to trick anyone else or manipulate things. Ideally, you're looking for something to come out of its own accord.
Yeah.
And whichever method you take to get there, be it by taking a formula or taking a Geoffrey Chaucer story or whatever, once that process starts and kicks in, and it's quite a mysterious process, really, isn't it? But it will surprise you, and that's like the big reward, I suppose, of doing something that's honest and genuine, is that you will get, surprises from it.
It's definitely the ending that is meant to be the ending, like in his songs.
Yeah.
A bit like a self-reflection, a bit of ideas here, like this is how the song has got to end.
Yeah.
And then you'll find it.
Yeah, exactly. It's that thing. It's that thing that's always bothered me in my like blocked times. Is like, I don't know how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But often it's just starting the process, and it will show you how it's supposed to be.
If you think
And it's also what it is.
Yeah. No, you continue.
Yeah, no, it's just it is what it is. Like, it doesn't have to be something else that it isn't.
Yeah.
It just is the way it is.
Yeah.
Because that's also something you get. Often you get the idea, you have the idea, you have the knowledge, and then you try to conform it to something else.
Exactly.
But it's not that.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I like the way that Clara put it. Also, when we interviewed her, she was saying one of her songs. She took it out kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
Was that what she said?
Yeah. Like, this song has to be written. She knows she had a bit of it, but she had a few blocks there. But yeah, writing down all the words at the top of the page, just like having to fight, and then it will be written.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere.
Sometimes you've got to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come out on their own.
Yeah, because in this case you described almost the same. Like, I need to write this. I need to finish this because otherwise I will not be content.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of those.
Yeah.
But there are so many where it's like they're not quite finished, and sometimes it's just about making the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, you've got a gig in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Do it now. And it's all right. There you go.
Great.
That's my take on creativity.
Thank
How
you.
long were we talking for?
Oh, well, thank you for giving us so much time today, Sam.
Yeah, definitely.
Chatting with us and giving us like an idea and so many like musical numbers as well between, so we can see live your creativity in action. And I assume this isn't your tax return forms. These are your lyric sheets.
Tax returns the other side.
No, it's on the other side.
It's the posters that I was supposed to dig out.
But no, showing us like the process and explaining and how you find your creativity.
Yeah, still haven't really figured it out, but
I think we're all on a journey figuring it out.
we're on a journey.
That's the thing.
And also, when you get the juice, it's just great.
Yeah. Do it.
But we'd love to have you on for another part in the future.
Yes.
Sure.
Maybe we'll come to a live gig.
That would be the most fun.
Sam, let us know, apart from at Larry's Corner, which you're advertising your shirt, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, right. At Larry's Corner, mainly.
But that's on social media, but that's in the real world as well.
Yeah, I'll mainly be there. Either playing or fixing his radiator.
So they're going to find you on Instagram.
Instagram.
Where would that be?
What is it? Sam
Dale songs.
Sam Dale songs. Yeah.
Sam Dale
I
songs.
make more of
do you
it.
need a manager? You can be my manager and the rest of
Yeah,
the
cool.
I could be. You could just turn around fair play. I could be your manager.
Let's turn it around.
I should do a bit more social media.
Right.
A little bit.
Well,
It's probably fun as well, isn't it?
You have the perfect guy over here. Who knows
Be a social media manager.
Yeah.
How's your YouTube channel going?
I think I've got one.
You do have.
And from now on, Marcus is managing it.
Yeah. Marcus of Manager.
Marcus of Manager. That's my next career.